please hit that subscribe button. Hey everybody, better suited to win the Stanley Cup this season. If you are new to the channel, Washington Capitals, the Boston Bruins.
Locked on and he scored! And we're live. Hey everybody, so it's time for another hit or miss video where I look at NHL teams' first round draft picks from 2005 through 2015 and determine if that pick was a hit or a miss. Today we're going to be doing the Vancouver Canucks, and before we start I just quickly ask that you hit that subscribe button if you're new and give this video a thumbs up, as those likes really do help the channel a lot and are very much appreciated. Let's get into it here. The Vancouver Canucks, hit or miss, starting in 2005, and this does unfortunately get off to a sad start, as the Vancouver Canucks had the 10th overall pick in the 2005 draft, and they selected defenseman Luc Bordeaux, who unfortunately was killed in a motorcycle accident in 2008 at only 21 years old, and it was a life and career tragically cut way too short. He only got to play 36 NHL games, scoring 2 goals, no assists for 2 points and a +6 rating. And this is obviously a horrible tragedy that happened, him passing away in that accident. I'm going to go ahead and call this one a hit, because I truly believe that Bordeaux was going to be a very good NHL defenseman. Think he was only 21 when he was killed. He was in his 36 career games. He already had a couple goals. He was +6. He was a plus player. He was very young when he played in the NHL, and I think as his career went on and as he developed, had he had a full NHL career, I truly believe that he was going to be a very good defenseman. So I'm going to go and call that one a hit, and I'm not going to hold it against Vancouver, them drafting him because of what happened, because obviously that was a horrible tragedy that no one ever wanted to see. And I truly believe that he would have gone on to be a very good player. So I'm going to say that that was a hit, drafting Luc Bordeaux at 10th overall. It's just very unfortunate how that turned out with the accident and what happened there. Moving on now to 2006. We have Vancouver drafting 14th overall, and with that pick they selected Michael Grabner, right wing, who has gone on to play 640 NHL games, scoring 175 goals, 101 assists for 276 points, and a +18 rating. This one, I'm going to call it a hit, because Michael Grabner only played 20 games for the Vancouver Canucks, but over the course of his career has had a pretty darn good NHL career, playing over 600 games, over 250 points, a plus player. He's played for a number of different teams, most notably his time with the New York Islanders and now with the Arizona Coyotes. Made some stops with made a stop with the Rangers as well, Toronto. He's been a solid middle of the lineup type player throughout his NHL career. And he's put a pretty solid career together to this point. Not a star player by any means, but a good middle of the lineup secondary scoring type guy, and that's enough for me to call that pick a hit. Moving on now to 2007, and with the 25th pick in the 2007 NHL draft, the Vancouver Canucks selected center Patrick White, and this was a massive miss. You are probably asking, who the hell is Patrick White? He never played an NHL game. He never even played a professional game in North America. Patrick White went to the University of Minnesota after being drafted, and he didn't even play that well for Minnesota. I don't think, looking at his stats, trying to remember, that he even had a 20-point season in college, never mind at the pro level in North America. He did play professional hockey after college, but it was always in Europe. He bounced around a few European leagues through much of the 2010s playing pro hockey there, but he never played an NHL game, never even that I saw even played an AHL game. He just went around Europe. And certainly a big miss with that pick, as he never came close to making the NHL. 2008, they selected 10th overall in the 2008 draft and took center Cody Hodgson, who went on to play 328 NHL games, scoring 64 goals, 78 assists for 142 points and a -54 rating. this pick was a miss. Now, when Hodgson first came up for the Vancouver Canucks, it looked like it was going to be a hit. He had a very good stint with Vancouver when he first got called up. However, it did not last. He ended up getting traded to Buffalo and really completely fell off the face of the NHL earth when he was with Buffalo. And his career ended up only being 328 games. He did not last very long and was a huge disappointment with the Buffalo Sabres. So this pick as a top 10 pick certainly was a big miss, as he never really became a star player or anything even close to that at the NHL level. However, Vancouver didn't really feel the effects of that miss, because when he came up with Vancouver, he was good. They traded him at a high value, and Buffalo is the one who actually got to feel the effects of Cody Hodgson being a miss, and he was a massive disappointment after being traded to the Buffalo Sabres. In 2009, Vancouver selected 22nd overall, and with that pick, they selected center Jordan Schroeder. And Jordan Schroeder went on to play 165 NHL games, scoring 18 goals, 24 assists for 42 points and a +5 rating. This pick is also a miss, as Schroeder never really found his footing as a full-time NHL player, never was a regular in an NHL lineup. Again, he only played 165 games, scored 42 points, just never stuck really at the NHL level, was always kind of on that line between NHL and AHL, and never really crossed that line fully. So Jordan Schroeder is a miss at 22nd overall for a first-round pick. 2010, Vancouver did not have a first-round pick, so we are moving on to 2011, and where they selected 29th overall, and with that pick, they selected left wing Nicholas Jensen, who went on to play 31 NHL games, scoring 3 goals, 3 assists for 6 points and a -5 rating. Now, Nicholas Jensen, again, only 31 games played, never really found his footing as a full-time NHL player. Never really became an NHL regular at any point in his career, and that means that he is a miss as well, as when you're drafting in the first round, you are, for a pick to be a hit, they've got to at least become a full-time NHL player. Even a late round pick, for it to be a hit, you want them to play regularly at the NHL level. Nicholas Jensen never did that. Moving on now to 2012, 26th overall pick was Vancouver's, and with that they selected Brendan Gaughan. Brendan Gaughan went on to play 118 NHL games, scoring 6 goals, 10 assists for 16 points and a -7 rating. Brendan Gaughan is now playing for the Providence Bruins in the AHL, but he, with the exception of 1 year where he played pretty regularly on the fourth line for Vancouver, he never really was an NHL regular, and this pick once again is a miss, as he hasn't really ever found his full footing as a full-time job in the NHL. He's a really good AHL player. I've seen him play this year for Providence. He's having a really good year with Providence in the AHL. Good minor league guy, but not really a regular at the NHL level. Even when he was playing NHL games, it was in a fourth-line role, and that wasn't, he only played 118. So we're going to call that one a miss as well. Now moving on to 2013, the Vancouver Canucks had 2 first-round picks in 2013. The first one being 9th overall, where they selected center Bo Horvat. And Horvat, obviously a huge hit, has gone on to be a top 6 center for the team, the captain now of the Vancouver Canucks, and just a massive, massive success in their top 6 forward group, playing 446 games so far, scoring 120 goals, 155 assists for 275 career points, and a -65 rating, and obviously still counting. Horvat's been awesome for Vancouver. He's still a pretty young guy, still a guy that I think can continue to get better, but he's already the captain of the team. He's a top 6 player for them, and obviously selected 9th overall. That is a huge hit. Later in that draft, they selected 24th overall, and with that, they selected Hunter Shinkaruk, another forward, and he only went on to play 15 NHL games with 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points, and a -7 rating. Shinkaruk, not a hit. He is a miss. Only 15 games played. Never really found his footing at the NHL level, and obviously that pick is a miss. 2014, they had 2 first-round picks once again, First one being 6 overall, where they selected Jake Virtanen, right wing, who has gone on to play 279 games in the NHL, scoring 50 goals, 45 assists for 95 points, and a -25 rating. And this pick is a miss. Jake Virtanen is still on the Vancouver Canucks. He's still in their lineup, but he plays on the 4th line. He's never really been more than a depth player for them. And that's what makes this pick a miss. You know, if he was picked, say, 29th overall or 25th overall or something like that, he'd probably be considered a hit. But he was a 6 overall pick. And when you are drafting in the top 10, you're not just looking for NHL caliber players. You're looking for star NHL players, franchise-changing, impactful NHL players. And Jake Virtanen, unfortunately, has just become a depth guy for Vancouver and has never really produced a whole lot offensively. So that makes that pick a miss. They selected again at 24th overall, and with that pick, they selected forward Jared McCann, who has played 310 NHL games, scoring 52 goals, 71 assists for 123 points and a +9 rating. Jared McCann is a hit. He's gone on to play for the Florida Panthers and now the Pittsburgh Penguins. And this season, I believe he is having his best NHL season with the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's looked really, really good for in the middle of that Penguins lineup this year. He can play center or wing. He's a really good secondary scorer, and he's still obviously young and continuing to develop and get even better. Vancouver never reaped the rewards of the McCann pick, as they traded him and gave up on him fairly quickly, but Florida and Pittsburgh certainly have, and he's become a pretty solid second/third line type guy. And that, with a late round first round pick, that's pretty respectable, and that pick is now a hit. And that brings us to 2015, where they selected 23rd overall. And with that pick, the Canucks selected right wing Brock Besser. And obviously that pick is a massive hit. That pick is a massive steal at 23 overall, as Besser probably should have been a top 10 pick in that draft. He's played 197 games, scoring 75 goals, 86 assists for 161 points and a -3 rating. Brock Besser is one of the top goal scorers now for the Vancouver Canucks. He's their top line right wing. He's a massively important player for them, and absolutely a huge hit there from the 2015 draft. So there you have it, guys. Vancouver Canucks, hit or miss. We saw plenty of misses, particularly early on. Plenty of hits, especially lately. But that's it for Vancouver. So with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description below. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon and merchandise store are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will be talking to you guys soon.